So, welcome back to the Dork Mother. I know I did a Inkbox video already, but I mentioned that I got two kits and I want to try out different locations to see where I want to get a real one. But I know since I already did this video, you're gonna be like, I don't want to watch her put on a fake tattoo again. But I'm going to actually go through my real tattoo story because I mentioned in the last video that I actually have 5 real tattoos. So I'm going to go through that and describe what they are, show some pictures, when I got them, stuff like that, their significance. Okay, so starting out of here again. So funny enough, I was always kind of like the emo kid, I don't really call them the scene kids with the big poof hair and all that stuff, and I always told myself, I'm going to be the tattoo person. That's going to be me. And you know, the funny thing is when I turned 18, I actually was dating a guy, and you know, we thought, we're so in love, and we were actually he already had a tattoo that spanned both his shoulder blades, you know, on his back. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get it, and then we can match. And like, I'm so glad I didn't end up doing that, because we broke up like probably not even a year later. So I don't know if that kind of put me off tattoos for a while, and then I was like, and then funny enough, I ended up leaving town for work for about 6-8 months, and when I came home, both my parents had tattoos and went and got their first tattoos, and I thought that was kind of funny that, like, of anybody, I mean, granted, they both have Harleys and they're biker people and whatever, but like, I never thought that they would beat me to it, and then they did. Like, to me, I never really got that whole Christmas break, holiday break thing. And so I always took off the week right before Christmas from work, for vacation. And so on my Christmas break, my mom told me she needed me to, because of course at 23, when this happened, I was still living at home, but told me that she needed me to go pick her up because she needed to drop her truck off at the mechanic and needed me to pick her up. I'm like, whatever. And she's like, oh, it's not a big deal, you know, wear your pajamas or whatever, we're only going to be gone for a little bit. So I'm literally in like Ugg boots, pajama pants, and a Team Edward t-shirt, because Twihard over here. And she surprises me and we go to the tattoo shop. She had set up an appointment and everything. So of course she had set up this appointment, and their tattoo artist, who's an awesome dude, is way old school, like hard metal, like, I don't know, Megadeth, Iron Maiden, old school stuff like that. Okay, so I walk in rocking a Team Edward t-shirt, and he's like, this chick, you know, whatever. But he does the tattoo. I mean, obviously it's his job. He's not gonna be like, I'm not gonna do this because you're a cheese ball. But it just made me laugh because it was somewhat embarrassing, you know. And so she had known what I wanted to get for a tattoo for a while, so it's not like I went into this completely unprepared, like not knowing what I wanted to get. And I actually got a claddagh, which is an Irish symbol. Usually it's a ring, like used as like an engagement ring, for you know, for women over there, and it's a heart held by hands and then a crown on top. But I actually did my own version of it and did wings coming off of it, because it was like a memorial tattoo, because my uncle, who was like a second dad to me, actually had passed away a couple years before that. And then my childhood dog, who I had my whole life from 10 to 23, had passed away like 5 months before that, and up here. But the wings that I put into the claddagh actually symbolize for my dog and my uncle. And so now it's 60 minutes. Ready to go. Got my 60-minute timer. But yeah, after that first one, it was like an addiction. It wasn't that much long after that when I got my second tattoo, which I will put a picture up. But of course I did the cheesy route and got my astrological sign, which is Gemini. But I had the tattoo guy the same tattoo guy has done all my tattoos. But he kind of made it a little bit fangs and blood red, so I felt a little more badass about it. And then my third tattoo, which I will put up a picture of, is the Irish symbol for, or like the seal for the goddess of horses, Epona, or Epona, I don't know how to pronounce it, Epona. But of course, I don't know if you've watched any of my other videos with my horses in there, but I am horse obsessed. I have been my entire life. I actually, in my parents' basement, still to this day, have like 100 and some horse figurines that I used to play with as a kid that I refuse to get rid of, and I don't want to bring them here because my chillins will get a little rough and can't be breaking those. And then my fourth tattoo, also Irish, so this will put me up to Irish tattoo number 3, is a Trinity knot, and those two, the goddess symbol and then the Trinity knot, are like when I put my legs together to touch in the middle, they're on the inside of both my calves. Also put a picture of that. I am not necessarily super keen on the color that's in it, but up until that point, other than the little bit of red in my Gemini tattoo, my tattoos have been black and white, or black and gray, whatever you want to call it, but which I'm personally very much more, apt to. That's my preference. But my mom's like, oh, come on, put some color in there. And so I just kind of let the tattoo guy do his thing and go nuts, and he put, not a lot of color in there. But I will say this, when it was already sensitive from the black and gray and the tracing and the shading and whatever, and then he goes and puts the color on top, that's a whole nother level of ow when the skin's already raw. I actually, now that I think about it, my hip tattoo was actually before my other calf tattoo, because my hip tattoo is a memorial tattoo. So we had a Great Dane. This is going to be sad, so I just want to warn everybody. We had a Great Dane that my dad was cutting down a tree, and he ran underneath of it, and it fell on him. And I don't want to get messed up talking about it, but so my mom, my dad, and myself all got memorial tattoos for him. Rest in peace, Harley. So that one is, and I'll put a picture up on here, but it's a slash mark and then a paw print. So the paw print, obviously the mark they leave on your life, and then the cut with the bleed, blood dripping is like the pain and the open wound that'll always be there, the fact that they're gone. So yeah. But I have to think about it. I actually got that before the Trinity knot. The Trinity knot was the last tattoo that I got, which was roughly about 2011. So I'm due. I am definitely due for a tattoo, which I have been debating, like I said, to get something on my arm. I really am a big Batman fan. I've been a Batman fan my whole entire life. From when I, as a little tiny kid, watched the Michael Keaton Batman movies, and I would say Batman Returns with Catwoman and the Penguin is probably my favorite from when I was a little kid, although I'm very partial to Val Kilmer's Batman, but because I actually seen that in the movie theater with my mom, which would have been 1995, so I'd have been 9, so I kind of want to get because in my mind, Batman and the Joker are kind of the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, that they go hand in hand, and so I kind of want a morphing tattoo, where Batman and the Joker morph into each other, and very comic booky, graphic novel, artsy, where it's up on the cap on my shoulder here. I tested out an Inkbox of that about a year ago. The problem is the way that these, and you can see how it's bending on my arm here, that they don't really go over curves that well, so doing it up here was hard, so I did it on the front, but I was actually very, very pleased with that location, so we'll have to see. But I will go ahead and wait out the rest of my time with this, and then I will hit you back in a little bit, and okay, so it has been 1 hour, boom, boom, let's take it off. I don't know if anybody watched my last video, but it's super strong adhesive. And this time it's on the side of my arm that has hair, so that's gonna be fun. Boop. But I mentioned in a caption in the last video, it seems like it'd leave like a really sticky residue. I mean, it left a mark. You can see that nice little outline where it pulled all my hair, but it actually does not leave any residue, so that's cool. But now it's time to actually pull the sticker itself. Boom. Say, nice amount of skin and hair that got pulled off of there. It's a little bit tweaked because I was doing things while I was letting that set, because, you know, this mama's got to get stuff done. Yeah, we'll see how I like it on the outside of the arm. The last one I did on the inside of the arm. This one I do on the outside of the arm. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you for everyone who watched the video and listened to my tattoo story and how I got my tattoos and why I got my tattoos. And hopefully if I go get a real tattoo, I can have somebody go with me and video the process for you, for anybody who's afraid to get a tattoo or wants to see what it looks like with the process beforehand. But yeah, so thanks for visiting Door Mother, thanks for watching my tattoo, and hope you have a great day. Like and subscribe. Bye.